What's up, everybody? This is Ryan Murphy checking in. 5 a.m. Thoughts, Murphy baseball performance. Today is going to be specifically focused on the relationship between the high school player and their coach. High school baseball is in full gear in terms of playoffs go. A lot of the guys I work with are now in a situation where high school is over. Comes with mixed feelings because many of them wanted to continue their pursuit of a state championship, but at the same time, from a lot of the parents, what I hear is, thank God my high school season's over so my son can get back to developing. So I think this is it's a topic that is needed to be discussed, because what happens is this, right? So guys come to see somebody like me, a coach that's focused on their individual growth and development. The goal whenever I get a chance to work with people is to understand what are their goals, what are their constraints or challenges, and then we hyper individualize and custom fit a program that's designed to help deliver what it is that guy needs at that point in time to get him from where he's at to where he needs to be to pursue his goal. So on the board here, over here on the left, I have goals, and then I've got you. So as a player, in this instance, the player's goal is to play Division I baseball. All right, which let's just use for sake of conversation. Let's say that this guy is a two-way player, right? He wants to pitch, and he also plays shortstop. So as a pitcher, to be able to play Division I, again, there are always exceptions, but most commonly, you're probably going to be about 88 to 90 miles an hour on your fastballs already, which would be the minimum. And then you're going to have, on the defensive side, if you're going to play shortstop at Division I, you're probably running about a 6'7", 6'8", 60, and it's getting faster every day. You're going to be throwing it about 92, 93 across the diamond, about +3 off your top number pitching. You're going to have clean hands, good actions, good footwork, all those things. So those are your goals. Or that's what you're going to need to do to be able to achieve your goal. So let's say though that today you're a junior in high school and you're throwing 82, 83 across or off the mound. You're 87 across the diamond. So you're right there. I mean, like, you're going to have a chance to play at a small D3 as it stands today, but Division I, you're not where you need to be able to play what you've expressed as your goal, is Division I. That's why college baseball in general as a goal, I don't like, because it's not specific enough. D1, D3, the parameters are different. So now, what's your high school baseball coach's goal? And this is not an indictment of high school baseball coaches, it's their job. Their job is to win baseball games. Where I feel like there's a miss, though, is that development and winning are seen as two separate things that can never collaborate or coincide in most instances, and that's huge disservice to the athlete. So the high school baseball coach's goal is to win the high school state championship. So what is that going to mean? Well, from a training perspective, it's going to mean that you as a player are going to become a functional part, most likely, of this cog. So what do I mean? High school baseball coaches need strikes today, now. So then, what is your throwing program going to look like? If you're the guy that's 83 that needs to be 88, does the high school coach really care about that? Or is the high school coach instead going to design a throwing program that's geared toward maximizing accurate throws and strikes? Again, which is not a problem. You got to be able to throw the ball in the money and pound the zone to get guys out to win, but not at the sacrifice of the development piece, the throwing hard piece. So now the high school coach has you, instead of playing max long toss to be able to get more athletic, more dynamic, now we're on our one knee. You guys ever seen this drill right here? We're on one knee doing this. This is my favorite one right here. Okay? And then every day we go to practice and we throw, and we are getting out to 90 feet, and that's it. Is that going to really set you up for success as far as being a dynamic thrower or dynamic athlete? Absolutely not. Okay? That's just one example. So now let's take it into the game. So high school coach wants to win the championship. What are we going to see a lot of? Bunt. Okay? I want you to go talk to any college coaches you know and ask them when the last time was that they drove somewhere to recruit a guy that they heard bunted really well. They don't. They don't. College teams, professional teams aren't drafting or selecting or recruiting, for the most part, guys that are batting 7th, 8th, 9th, who can bunt. Like, you gotta be able to hit the ball with authority, exit speed, power, consistent barrel to ball. But if the high school coach's strategy, again, is for winning today versus your strategy of being able to win today, but also you've got your future goal in mind, this bunt often strategy, or bunt all the time, is going to be an absolute killer. And by the way, there's plenty of numbers and data that show that bunting is for fools, but that's a conversation for another day. Other examples of this, automatic 3-0 take, so it's 3-0, the high school coach says, hey, take sign, and then you see a fastball right down the middle that you could absolutely hammer that might make an impression on a scout or somebody who's there watching or whatever, and now you're in a passive mode because we're hoping that this guy walks you so we can win a high school state championship. Bringing you back on short rest. So guys most people that I know do a terrible job of warming up and then taking care of their arm after they throw. It's bad. I was bad at it in high school. It's getting better, the information's getting better, but there's so many arm injuries, and this is a major reason why. So high school coach brings you back on short rest, meaning you throw 80 pitches in the game, boom, now you're back in on 1 day's rest. Your arm feels like garbage, you didn't warm up right, you're getting soft tissue damage in your forearm and your bicep, and you might not even realize the extent of the injury to that soft tissue right now, but over time you keep replicating that. And again, with the goal in mind for the high school coach that, yeah, we're going to win a state championship, right? But there's no real assessment of your ability to recover that quickly and come back into a game. So we're seeing the theme here. And then lastly, long distance running. So this drives me absolutely crazy because as a guy that only threw 75, 76 miles an hour in high school, I get sent to the treadmill to go run 20 minutes on the treadmill 2 or 3 days a week to flush. Guess what? Lactic acid builds up. Now we got studies now that show lactic acid builds up as a result of long distance running versus the flush that everybody talks about. And the other part is this. If we're throwing 82, 83 miles an hour, going back to that example, and we need to be throwing 88, why are we long distance running? You've got fast twitch fiber, slow twitch fiber genetically within you. Fast twitch muscle fiber, slow twitch muscle fiber. You got neutral fiber in the middle. The neutral fiber is going to move and shift based off of the way it is that you train. So the high school coach says, oh, it's easy, let's just have these guys run 2 miles, mental toughness training, or whatever, which is absolutely foolish because what is baseball? It is a sprint and a recovery. It's an explosion and a recovery. Why would you train in a different way other than that you are not paying attention to the game or the way that the game is evolving? Or it's just easy for you to send everybody for a 2-mile run than it is to stand there and time sprints. Like, what are we doing? So I'd love to hear feedback from people. This is not an indictment of high school baseball coaches. There are some great coaches, but I see far too often that they don't actually take time to understand their players' individual goals. And then what happens is they get pissed off when a player comes and sees somebody like me because they're not getting the type of individual attention or customized development plan that's required for them to be able to get to their goal. And look, at the end of the day, high school baseball, if your goal is to play Division I, or if your goal is to play professional baseball, high school baseball is a means to an end. I hate to bust the bubble of a lot of the guys that are probably watching this, but high school baseball equals means to end. It is not the end-all be-all. It is not. And if you have no strategy to combat as an athlete or as a parent, if you have no strategy to combat what you're about to run into in high school baseball, meaning if you don't have a plan for how you're going to still get your development in on your own, whether it's weighted balls or sprints or during the season, I promise you that whatever gains you make in the off season will get swallowed over the course of the year. That's the conversation for today. I hope you guys found it helpful. Please like and share, ask questions, and I appreciate it. Have a great day.